Chasing back, Meimo, anti-faction, resource snatching, serious, demolishing CP, Liu Xijun, who traveled through the entire France, obtained the enchanting system. Not only did he become incredibly handsome due to his enchanting physique, but he also awakened the summoning system at the same time. And you can summon a little succubus yourself. The little succubus can produce love crystals, which can lock her in love and make her fall in love with you until death, and obtain a random attribute of the woman. Whether it's talent, magic, or galaxy, your esteemed Lord Sarang, I see that you still have your charm. She's really just my summoner. I need treatment. Chapter 1. Me and My Demons. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Butchern, a Walmart supermarket behind. Hey, I'm a noble magician. I need to figure out the previous accounts for you today. Several students wearing school uniforms were now looking arrogant, pushing a handsome young man in work clothes onto the wall. Magician, Liu Xijun looked at the lazy guys in front of him and sneered, "How many stars are there? The magic can't even be released, and you're just shouting that you're a magician here. You." Several students' faces immediately turned red. They, who had already considered themselves noble, were poured with cold water like this. They were furious and raised their hands to hit Liu Xijun's handsome face. Liu Xijun rewarded each of them with an old fist with a backhand. But with 2 fists it was difficult to defeat 4 hands, gradually losing the battle and being pinned to the ground. Ding, sorry, the system was only successfully repaired today. Meimo system sincerely serves you, your constitution. Meimo, distributed 5 years ago, your initial magic. Summoning series, your summoning beast. Little Meimo, the little charm can produce, love crystals, for you, which can be consumed by women to lock their love and make them fall in love with you until death, and obtain a random attribute, galaxy, magic ability, talent, from that woman. The sudden sound in Liu Xijun's mind almost made him cry out loud. Dog system, you really have enough. When I first crossed over, I was told that I had a system, but you threw me a charm constitution and ran away. Do you know how I spent so long without you? Work in Walmart every day. I have to be harassed by those 50-year-old aunties who come to buy groceries every day. I don't even have the money to attend a magic school. The roast in his heart was not over yet, but a shout in reality woke him up immediately. Mad, how arrogant. Hit him, several students shouted, pressing Liu Xijun to the ground, about to step on his head. And it is precisely at this moment. Boom. A giant-eyed rat suddenly rushed out of Walmart supermarket. It still holds some blurry flesh in its mouth, obviously it has just killed someone. Moreover, ordinary giant-eyed fishy rats do not easily come to cities where humans live. They usually only eat leftovers, but if they are extremely hungry, they may eat people. And this one, obviously not ordinary. It has been crazed. Squeak. The giant-eyed crimson mouse saw the students in a circle and rushed over with red eyes. Those guys, seeing the situation, dared not take any more action and were horrified. They turned their heads and ran away. How can they release magic even if they haven't reached the 7 stars yet? Faced with such a huge and just-eaten human-eyed fishy rat, I was already scared out of my wits. Su Qingning. Su Qinglin. Wait for me, a student shouted as he had just run away when he stumbled and fell to the ground. And those 2 guys, at this moment, how could they still manage these things? They ran very fast with oil on their feet. The giant-eyed fishy mouse saw Liu Xijun lying on the ground and ignored him. It had already treated him as a mouthful snack and turned to chase after the other people. Liu Xijun slowly got up, patted the dust off his body, and looked coldly at the fleeing students. Because the system only gave Liu Xijun the Meimo constitution at the beginning, Liu Xijun, who was exceptionally handsome and had some supernatural features, has always been envied by people, and this is especially true for the few people in front of him. They have been disrupting his life several times, and now they have awakened their attributes. They will have to bully him again as wizards. How can we tolerate this? Su Qingning. Su Qinglin. I remember correctly, is this a student from Mo Fan's class? Although it's just a casual character, Liu Xijun, who has watched Time Mage, still has some impressions. So, now Mo Fan has just awakened not long ago. Master, do you need someone to come out? A delicate and extremely enchanting voice echoed through Liu Xijun's mind. Are you a system? Liu Xijun asked inexplicably. What system? Master, I am your little demon. Can I summon you now? Yes, Master, as long as you want, you can do it now. Wait a little longer. Liu Xijun didn't want to save those few people. He succeeded in revenge without getting his hands stained with blood, which was much better than killing someone by hand and causing a lot of trouble in the end. Okay, when you need someone, be sure to let them out in a timely manner. This voice made Liu Xijun goosebumps. It was simply too seductive. I couldn't imagine what she would look like when she came out later. However, now Liu Xijun is more concerned about the fleeing guys in front of him. Wait for me. Ah. The guy who just overthrew Liu Xijun was bitten by a giant-eyed rat and his neck was torn open. There were still two people in front of him, their hearts trembling and their legs so weak that they knelt directly to the ground. No, 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 no. Ah. The giant-eyed fishy mouse pounced forward at the sight, taking one bite at a time, and sent them to heaven. There were two more people, Su Qingning and Su Qinglin, who were the fastest runners, but by now they had disappeared without a trace. It can be considered as escaping. The giant-eyed fishy mouse didn't plan to chase after him anymore, so it turned around and looked at Liu Xijun. And now that Liu Xijun has a little charm, he has a sense of confidence and is no longer anxious. The giant-eyed fishy mouse clearly had no idea that the young man in front of him was not afraid of it at all, and even dared to look at it. However, that's all. The giant-eyed fishy rat panted heavily and pounced forward. Liu Xijun closed his eyes and the 7 stars in his mind instantly connected into a star track. An extremely sexy and enchanting figure appeared out of thin air in the sky. She has a petite and delicate figure, with beautiful curves. Her skin is not as blue as expected, but as white as snow, as delicate as snow porcelain. Under the sunlight, this delicate skin even reflects a bit. Surprisingly, her eyes were unusually deep red, looking pure and somewhat foolish. Master, she called out coquettishly. Then he suddenly threw Liu Xijun down again. Liu Xijun is completely confused. No, I asked you to come out and fight. Hey! Are you in Shenmo? Master! 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 Meimo had a joyful expression on her face. She tightly hugged Liu Xijun and kept drilling into his arms, shouting her master in her mouth. However, Liu Xijun did not anticipate such a situation. He looked at the little demon on his body with a swaying peach-shaped tail, feeling somewhat bewildered. The big-eyed rat is here. He pointed to the mouse rushing over there. Humph. The little demon turned its head and looked at the ugly big-eyed rat, ignoring it. We don't care about it. It's so ugly. Then he continued to drill into Liu Xijun's arms, smelling his scent while drilling, his legs tightly gripping him. Squeak. The giant-eyed fishy mouse felt an unprecedented provocation, only a human, actually making intimate contact in front of me. Its huge eyes turned even redder. I only saw this ugly mouse jumping up high, opening its big mouth and about to bite it. Little Meimo, take a look at it. Liu Xijun's eyes widened, pushing and shoving the little demon on his body, but the little demon tightly hugged him, like a sticky mouse board. I'm going to bite it off. But the little demon held Liu Xijun's face and stared at him seriously, as if trying to remember all the details on his face, murmuring. Master, they've been waiting over there for so many years, but you haven't summoned them yet, mouse. Mouse. Liu Xijun jumped up in haste. The little demon frowned slightly and flicked its tail. Pop. The giant-eyed fishy rat flew 10 meters away and crashed into the wall without moving. Dead, dead. Liu Xijun stared blankly at the dead mouse over there, so frightened that he couldn't speak. That thing was instantly killed. Alright, it's quiet now. Meimo turned to smile and said, her big Cazalan eyes did not leave Liu Xijun for a moment. This gaze was incredibly bright and alluring, but for some reason, Liu Xijun could always discern some clear foolishness from it. I don't know if he was mistaken. But it's not important, what's important is. With such a big mouse, why did you just take a second? Did it fly like a fly? Meimo seemed to enjoy watching Liu Xijun's surprised expression. Her face gradually leaned closer to him, almost kissing him. It seemed like she was about to say something when she suddenly looked up to one side and her expression suddenly changed. Oh. Sorry master, I'm leaving first. Remember to come home and let me out. Goodbye. Chapter 2. Love Lock Yi Chang. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After speaking, the little demon disappeared instantly. Leave Liu Xijun lying on the ground with a bewildered expression on his face. He slowly stood up and saw several corpses on the ground, with a hint of pleasure in his heart to see his enemy die. Did you do all of this? A mature and lazy female voice sounded from behind. Liu Xijun turned around and saw a mature and beautiful imperial sister. She glanced at the several corpses on the ground over there, chuckled lightly, and looked at Liu Xijun with great interest. As you can see, it was made by this giant-eyed fishy rat, Liu Xijun said calmly. He looked at this beautiful woman and felt very familiar, but he didn't know where he had seen her before. And at this moment, the woman was also curiously staring at Liu Xijun's face, seemingly surprised by his perfect appearance. Even though he had not fully grown up, he was so handsome that people couldn't move their eyes. The two of them looked at each other for a while before the woman took the initiative to break the deadlock. I'm not talking about them, but about it, the woman said, gesturing for the dead mouse over there. I don't know. Liu Xijun directly rejected it. But I think, you know. She curled up a curve at the corner of her mouth and glanced at her side, with a hint of contempt in her eyes. Forget it, someone's coming, come with me first. After speaking, he immediately kidnapped Liu Xijun. The two disappeared behind Walmart. And soon, a group of wizards from the Hunter Alliance rushed to the scene. The demon is dead. Surprisingly, it was a flash sale. These deceased people are actually students. They are still students who have just awakened. Su Qingning and Su Qinglin also arrived slowly at this moment. They had just met people from the Hunter Alliance and wanted to come back and see the situation. But there are only corpses on the ground now. The giant-eyed fishy rat has died, and that handsome guy is not present at the scene, so he must have died too. It's good to die, otherwise the matter of pushing their classmates to the ground will be exposed by someone. Liu Xijun's heart was shaken. He never expected to encounter such a terrifying magician in this small supermarket. Not only that, she is also very likely from the shadow department. After the darkness before his eyes, Liu Xijun came to a room. It seems to be a rental house in a certain community. The doors and windows are tightly closed, and curtains are also drawn. The woman who abducted herself was sitting on the sofa at this moment, with her mature and confused hair draped around her, and she lazily poured a cup of tea. Smelling this flavor, it should be jasmine tea. Jasmine tea. Liu Xijun seems to have caught some clues. He suddenly looked up and stared at the woman carefully, gradually overlapping her facial features with a wheelchair girl he had seen before. Yi Chang. She is Yi Chang, mother of the female lead Xinxia. He is also one of the 7 cardinals of the Black Church, codenamed Sarang. Not only that, she is also a major antagonist character in many early storylines of Time Mage. Why? You keep staring at me, do you think I look good? Chang pushed the cup of tea to Liu Xijun and gestured for him to drink it. And she herself, at this moment, also poured herself a cup of tea, holding the cup and looking playfully at the young man in front of her. Can you drink the tea poured by the great poison master Chang? Liu Xijun was a bit hesitant to take it. The atmosphere suddenly became somewhat awkward. Chang saw Liu Xijun standing in the same spot, without touching the teacup or making any other movements, so he pointed to himself and said, "Sit down." Liu Xijun dared not resist and slowly sat beside her. This person is too scary. This woman is far from being as gentle as she appears on the outside, and correspondingly, the more beautiful a woman is, the more terrifying she is. She is extremely skilled in using poison, skilled in scheming, skilled in means, and full of evil. In the original work, this person caused multiple major disasters, and countless people died indirectly or directly at her hands. Liu Xijun took the tea cup and didn't know what to do. If she were to poison here, how could she prevent it herself? Tell me, how did you kill that giant-eyed fishy rat? Chang took a sip of tea, and his originally dark red lips turned blood red due to the tea's infiltration. Liu Xijun looked at the rippling tea in the cup and didn't know how to answer. He couldn't quite figure out what the other person was thinking. Master, just tell her that you are a summoning type. She can transform, don't worry. And now she has love crystals, that she can use later. Suddenly, the voice of the little demon rang out in his mind. Liu Xijun no longer hesitated. I suddenly awakened the summoning system and killed the giant-eyed fishy rat instead. Suddenly awakened the summoning system. Chang was obviously surprised, it was an extremely rare magic. And it's also self-awakening, awakening on its own without the guidance of the awakening stone. Does it mean that you are already able to summon your own summoning object? Yes. Let me take a look. Chang suddenly felt a little excited. If this son's talent was really so frightening, he would definitely be under his command. Liu Xijun closed his eyes and connected the stars into their orbits. Then a ghostly wolf beast appeared on the ground. Chang was extremely surprised, and her eyes were a bit hot. Although she only summoned a servant-level summoning object, it fully proved his talent. Moreover, this dark wolf beast is so robust, much more terrifying than those dark wolf beasts we see in our daily lives. It is an advanced summoning beast. Changmei's eyes sparkled as she looked at Liu Xijun and said, "So, you had such a summon before, but you didn't rescue those new magicians. They have troubled me several times and not allowed me to live a good life." "Naturally, I will not save them," Liu Xijun replied truthfully. "What if someone else troubles you like this in the future? 10 times the reward." Okay. Chang was very satisfied with Liu Xijun's answer. She said seriously, "Then I'll give you a chance to follow me and do things for me. No one will dare to trouble you again in the future. Do you agree? But I don't know your name yet. You can call me Sarang." Sure enough. Liu Xijun's heart was settled, but he had already reached this point and there was no turning back. Showcasing talent in front of such people, if it cannot be used by them, then one cannot return home alive. "Xiao Meimo, how can I get the love crystal? This is our only chance to turn things around." Liu Xijun tried to communicate with Xiao Meimo. "Master, there is a lock crystal in your bag that I just put in. Find a chance to use it for her. Can dissolve in water." Colorless and tasteless, the voice of Meimo echoed in his mind, and upon hearing her words, Liu Xijun had already formed an idea. He raised the cup of tea and loudly said, "Lord Sarang, I am willing to follow your footsteps." After Liu Xijun finished speaking, he drank the cup of tea in front of her. Chang lifted his chin slightly, satisfied with his crispness and sharpness. To follow the big villain is to become a tool man. Who knows when you will be abandoned? So, it is crucial to take the initiative in your own hands. Liu Xijun looked at Yi Chang with firm eyes, full of loyalty. But in her heart, she said, "Little succubus, move. Get her attention." The ghostly wolf beast transformed by the little demon began to move around in the living room, and she turned around, looking very anxious. Yi Chang glanced at the wolf beast with some suspicion. But there was no action taken. This is not enough. Liu Xijun frowned slightly, unsure of what to do next. But no one expected it. Ow! It actually called out directly towards the window. This is a residential area. What are you doing? Liu Xijun quickly got up and grabbed her ear, trying to twist it back. But the wolf beast is very stubborn, howling incessantly. Ahem. Ahem. Yi Chang furrowed her brows slightly as she noticed a commotion in the community and took 2 steps forward. At this moment, Liu Xijun was thrown away by the wolf beast and landed on the sofa. At this moment, it is Yi Chang's back. Liu Xijun quickly threw the gel-like substance in his pocket into Yi Chang's teacup, and immediately disappeared, as if nothing had happened in the cup. Dead dog. Stop barking. Liu Xijun chuckled. Woo woo woo, the wolf beast immediately drooped its ears and muttered pitifully. Yi Chang turned to look at Liu Xijun and said, "Quickly take it back. Sorry, this is my second time summoning her and I'm not familiar with her." Liu Xijun immediately took the little demon back and said, "Familiarize yourself with your summoning beast as soon as possible, and things will be arranged for you later." Yi Chang sat back on the sofa, took out his phone, and after a few clicks, looked at him with some blame and said, "Our people have already suppressed what just happened, but I hope this kind of thing won't happen again." "Okay, Lord Sarang," Liu Xijun said with a hint, "Lord, jasmine tea is really delicious. I still want it." Yi Chang snorted and said, "It seems that you're not just handsome, but also quite tasteful. You're on your own." As she spoke, she skillfully picked up the teacup and took a small sip of the jasmine tea inside. Chapter 3. Naming Little Charm and Entering School. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Liu Xijun sipped his tea and paid attention to Yi Chang's every move. Seeing her drinking only a little bit, I couldn't help but worry about whether the love crystals would work. But this concern seems unnecessary. After Yi Chang took 2 small sips. For some reason, she felt that this jasmine tea was even sweeter than before. I sniffed the smell in confusion again, but didn't find anything strange. Yi Chang did not doubt what Liu Xijun had done. After all, she herself was a master at playing poison. Can this inexperienced guy still deceive her? As she sipped the tea, red threads appeared on her body. They seemed to be searching for something, and after swaying in the air, they all wrapped around Liu Xijun. Master. Success. In his mind, the little demon exclaimed in surprise. What are these red silk threads? Liu Xijun asked in confusion. It's the love of this woman named Sarang. From now on, all her life's love will be wrapped around you, the master. Even the love that was wrapped around the person she fell in love with before has now been completely lifted and wrapped around you, the master. Liu Xijun was slightly surprised. And soon, more changes began. Love began to move around and gradually wrapped around the little finger of his right hand. A black magic energy began to transmit to his fingertips. Master. You have obtained her shadow department. Wow, I have also obtained her shadow department, we are progressing together. Liu Xijun remained silent, his eyes slightly closed, and he did feel that he had added a dark galaxy. However, the current shadow system is only a cluster of stardust, and not a single star has been activated yet. What's your name? The lazy voice of the imperial sister appeared in Liu Xijun's ear again. Liu Xijun opened his eyes and looked at her, but did not see any peculiar expression in her eyes. He said seriously, Liu Xijun. Liu Xijun, Yi Chang nodded slightly upon hearing this. After thinking for a moment, she said, so, you don't have enough strength to do more for me now. But that doesn't mean you have nothing to do. Tianlan Magic High School, where there are some of our people, you can temporarily go there to study, make sure to work hard, don't worry about resource matters. As for what you will do in the future, I will naturally tell you. Her face remained unchanged, just in a routine tone, which made Liu Xijun feel immense pressure. He nodded and immediately responded. Yi Chang had such an arrangement, and Liu Xijun was not surprised. After all, it was an excellent opportunity to get close to the Earth Holy Spring. Although there is already one person, so, can I leave now? Liu Xijun looked up at her and asked with uncertainty. Take the flowers and quit my job at the supermarket. Yi Chang took out a large stack of cash from a handbag. This money will be used to pay for my current life, and there will be organizational support for both cultivation and funding. I test, rich woman. Although Liu Xijun had experienced this kind of thing before, he dared not accept the money handed over by those fat pig-like rich women. It's different now. He takes this money with peace of mind. I've worked hard for your big villain, isn't it normal to get some money? Thank you, Mr. Sarang. Liu Xijun took the money and roughly estimated it to be 40,000 to 50,000 yuan. Yi Chang sat on the sofa, legs crossed, watching Liu Xijun's happy expression, and the corners of his mouth unconsciously curved upwards. Please leave a phone number and I will notify you of your enrollment later. I don't think I need to emphasize to you what loyalty is. Of course. Liu Xijun immediately responded. In the Black Church, those who have not achieved anything, those who are useless, and those who are disloyal are all turned into black animal demons. Liu Xijun would rather die than be made into something that resembles humans and is not human. I haven't seen any changes in Yi Chang yet, but it's better for Liu Xijun to be obedient. Let's go home by yourself. Yes. Liu Xijun turned his head and left, while Yi Chang looked at his back, her beautiful eyes full of admiration. What a beautiful man, what an obedient person. When he left the community, Yi Chang immediately changed her face. Follow Liu Xijun to the residential area he rented together. I kept seeing Liu Xijun open the door and enter the house. She took note of the door number before slowly leaving. After seeing Liu Xijun, Yi Changzi suddenly realized that he was Sarang, a bishop in red, and not just a killer. In fact, he was also a woman. This Liu Xijun, she set to eat. Su Qingning, Su Qinglin, did all those people die that day? In the class, several students are chatting with those two people. Whenever they talked about this topic, Su Qingning and Su Qinglin looked frightened, but they still talked about everything that happened that day. We were going to teach that Walmart waiter a lesson. Unexpectedly, a giant-eyed rat suddenly appeared. We were all shocked. We're running away. Unfortunately, Wang Xiong and his team fell and were injured. We can't rescue them either. So, that Walmart employee also died. Yes, it's a pity that face looks really handsome, Su Qingning shook her head. Previously, she was extremely envious and jealous of Liu Xijun's face, but now she began to feel regretful. Several female classmates around them heard this and asked, "Are you very handsome?" "Handsome is a little more handsome than me." Su Qinglin smacked his lips, thinking about Liu Xijun he saw that day. Even though he was wearing Walmart overalls, he was also very stylish. A few girls were speechless, and this thing just passed. Master, after returning home, Liu Xijun was suddenly thrown onto the sofa by the little demon, and the fragrance she exhaled from her mouth entered her nose, always making people unable to help but take off their guard. The little demon was wearing clothes with very little fabric, like children's clothes. Her small belly and half of her chest were also exposed. With such a thrust, Liu Xijuan's smooth and fair thighs and soft belly pressed against his body. Hee, am I powerful? That woman who is so powerful was taken down by us like this. Really? Did you take it off? Liu Xijun was pressed down by her, her hand slightly supporting her shoulder, asking her not to stick too close to her. Although she is very charming, Liu Xijun, who also has a demonic physique, can still withstand it. Yes, the little demon tried to get closer to Liu Xijun and kept looking for an angle to get close to his face. After several unsuccessful attempts, she coquettishly said, "Master, don't you resist me so much. It's too clingy, little succubus." Liu Xijun patted her soft back, "Get up first. Master, don't keep calling me Little Meimo, you can give me a name." Little Meimo suddenly stood up from Liu Xijun. Liu Xijun finally had no need to defend himself and sat up. "But I didn't want to." At this moment, the little demon directly attacked. Bark and a fragrant and soft kiss fell on his cheek. "Master, how fragrant you are." The little demon hugged Liu Xijun's arm and looked at him happily. Feeling the damp heat still lingering on his face, Liu Xijun felt disappointed. In the future, such a little demon would follow him, afraid that he might not be squeezed dry. "Don't you have a name?" He didn't push away the little demon anymore, letting her hold him and ask. "No, my mother was called the Great Charm, and I am the Little Charm. Before I was summoned, my mother said she wanted you to help me name it, Master." The Little Charm muttered. "Give me a name." Liu Xijun thought for a moment, then follow his own surname. Looking at the enchanting body of the little demon, there was a feeling of indescribable stupidity. "Liu Xirao." He touched the little demon's head and said, "Let's call you Liu Xirao." "Okay." The little demon's eyes lit up when he heard the name. Excited, he took the opportunity to sneak an attack on Liu Xijun and kissed his face before running away. Liu Xijun looked at Liu Xirao with a helpless expression on his face. "This little demon is really ding-dong, my phone is ringing." Liu Xijun took out his phone, which was an unfamiliar one. "But the news is. Report tomorrow." "There is no need to say more about who this is." Liu Xijun replied. "Okay. Then I made a note for her. Yi Chang." "Hello everyone, today, our class is going to have a transfer student. Welcome everyone, Liu Xijun." Chapter 4. Sleeping Trough. This guy is so handsome. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Welcome new classmates. Xue Mushing looked out the door with a smile on his face. At this moment, the people in the class were also buzzing and discussing who they were, and surprisingly, they arrived late after everyone's magical awakening. If you ask me, it must be a young master with a powerful family who doesn't need to awaken at school. Could it be the kind of genius who awakens on his own? Impossible, that kind of genius should have gone to the Imperial Magic Academy a long time ago. Just like, yes, it's like the Miss Mu from the Mu family. The sound of footsteps came in waves. Everyone stretched their heads and looked towards the door. Ah! Qiu Yueying, sitting in the first row near the door, suddenly screamed. The students in the class were all puzzled and even looked at Qiu Yueying reproachfully. What's the point of making a big fuss during class? Until they saw the new student named Liu Xijun. The whole class just fell silent. They finally understood why Xue Mushing had just stopped scolding Qiu Yueying. "I only saw a very strange and handsome boy walking in at the door. His facial features were deep and three-dimensional, and his pupils were pitch black and deep like a sea. He was only wearing a very simple hoodie, but it was like a top model wearing a top luxury item, exuding a luxurious aura. Hello everyone, my name is Liu Xijun." He spoke softly, his expression indifferent, but not aloof, always giving people a feeling of not being interested in anything but not rejecting people thousands of miles away. "Welcome. Welcome new students. Welcome new classmates, I'm almost done." A group of girls were screaming and frantically expressing themselves. Xiu Yueying, a woman full of heroism, has never looked up to any boy, but at this moment, she covers her mouth in fear of being unable to control herself and cry out. Meanwhile, the other women in the class also had an excited expression on their faces, nodding wildly as they watched each other, their smiling mouths almost reaching their ears. In the class, the boy also looked shocked. How could there be such a handsome person? Mu Bai widened his eyes and stared fixedly at Liu Xijun, but no matter how he looked, he couldn't see any flaws in his face. He couldn't imagine how disastrous it would be for the country and the people if such a face appeared on a girl. At this moment, Mo Fan also stared at Liu Xijun for a while, then silently said in his heart, he is even more handsome than lousy. Liu Xijun, that's your seat. Xue Mushing gestured for the empty table by the window and said with a smile. To be happy, he is the happiest person. It is said that this new student has a transparent galaxy. Transparent galaxies. What this means is self-evident. He lost the Thunder student before, but now a summoning student has arrived. It's like a stone axe falling into a ditch and picking up a golden axe. Liu Xijun smiled and nodded, walking towards his seat. He sits alone without a desk mate. I don't know if Chang deliberately arranged it this way. And then Xue Mushing's words made him truly realize that his guess was correct. Ahem, here it is. I want to tell everyone that my new classmate Liu Xijun doesn't like socializing. The seat next to him is empty, so don't think about sitting over there. As soon as the homeroom teacher Xue Mushing said these words, all the girls let out a long sigh. And those boys also breathed a little sigh of relief. If all the girls were fighting for this seat, it would be too jealous. At this time, Su Qingning and Su Qinglin immediately stood up, their faces filled with horror as they looked at Liu Xijun. You, aren't you dead? At that time, you were bitten to death by us. Even the king bear and the others were bitten to death by the giant-eyed bloody rat. Why are you still alive? This sentence was muttering in their hearts. What? He is the Walmart employee you said you bullied every day. A girl suddenly stood up and looked at Su Qingning and Su Qinglin fiercely. That's not the point is, why is he still alive? What if he was possessed by something? What if he wasn't himself long ago? How could a guy with no strength in his hands survive from the mouth of a giant-eyed fishy rat? Su Qingning's heart was pounding, and he couldn't imagine how miserable his days would be if Liu Xijun really survived. Yes. Everyone present is dead, but he is still alive. Isn't he suspicious? Su Qinglin swallowed his saliva and arched the fire, saying. Under their explanations, the whole class finally learned about what happened that day. It turned out to be these two guys who used to trouble Liu Xijun a lot, but unexpectedly Liu Xijun woke up and even came to the same class. But what's suspicious is why he's still alive. Liu Xijun looked at the positions of the two people at this moment and chuckled lightly, saying, abandoning classmates, being extremely selfish, pushing Wang Xiong and others to the ground to delay the giant-eyed bloody rat. It can be said that your lives were bought by Wang Xiong and those three people. Once oppressed me, now I have to incite the whole class to suspect me. Su Qingning and Su Qinglin really impress me. Bloody-mouthed. How could we have pushed Wang Xiong down? Su Qingning quickly shouted, you are the most suspicious. Why, do you want to know how I survived? In Liu Xijun's transparent galaxy, 7 stars instantly connected into a curve. Master. I'll take care of them. Liu Xirao exclaimed excitedly. Xue Mushing suddenly felt a wave of magic, and he quickly interrupted. Okay, stop. There's no problem with Liu Xijun's background, which is something many people can guarantee. As for Su Qingning and Su Qinglin, you two need to undergo further investigation and honestly state yesterday's incident. Su Qingning and Su Qinglin's faces were now as pale as ashes. They looked at Liu Xijun, who was smiling at them, and couldn't help but feel a chill in their hearts. What they didn't know was that Xue Musheng's interruption saved them half of their lives. Master, these two gangs are really despicable. When they bullied you before, I saw them all in my eyes. Unfortunately, I couldn't come out to help you, so we'll find a way to take them out later, said Liu Xirao, the little demon. Liu Xijun replied, don't panic, I will naturally find a way to deal with them. Okay. By the way, Master, do you have any girls in this class that you are interested in? I will have a crush again after a while. Not yet, it's just that there's someone we can try to get in touch with, she's not at this school. I thought you would say you liked me the most, Master. After class, Liu Xijun was surrounded by girls, and Liu Xirao kept shouting in his mind. Master. They are all so ugly, we ignore them. Release me, I'll turn into a big mouse and scare them all away. However, Liu Xijun was indeed not interested in these people, so he casually dealt with them. Some called school flowers, and class flowers, also frequently come to seek social connections. Chapter 5 Yi Chang. Now I am Yi meeting Yi Xinxia. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Liu Xijun. Can you add a green bubble? Liu Xijun. After school, let's go home together. Not a sister's, isn't your home out of town? Don't worry, as long as Liu Xijun is willing, my home can be at the Hanting Hotel. School flower, how could you be so indecent? Liu Xijun, classmate. After school, Liu Xijun walked out of the classroom, surrounded by piles of girls. He has experienced this kind of thing before. For example, when he was in Walmart supermarket, there were hundreds of people in the checkout counter, and other checkout counters were resting because of him. Later on, there was no other choice, but the manager advised him to wear a mask and assigned him to work in the backstage of the supermarket. A group of people surrounded him and walked out of the school gate. Liu Xijun was forced to add several people on WeChat, all of whom were classmates. There are various reasons, but it is difficult to refuse, such as, I am the student committee, and I may notify you on WeChat if there is anything in the future, I am the deputy class monitor, I am. At school, many boys were watching Liu Xijun from the side, all envious and jealous. Why is this guy so popular? And at this moment. Boom. A roar of the engine, resembling that of a bull, came over. Draw everyone's attention away. In the afterglow of the sunset, a red Ferrari came into view. The car was dazzling like flames, intertwined with the orange and red sunset, as if a shooting star was coming from the sky. As the vehicle slowly stopped and the car door gently opened, an extremely beautiful woman gracefully walked down. Compared to the inexperienced student girl who still doesn't know how to dress up, this woman is simply the dream lover of all young men. She is dressed in a well-cut red evening gown, with long hair as smooth as silk, and a delicate and picturesque face. What is more attractive is the natural luxury that makes people can't help but lower their heads. The girls surrounding Liu Xijun were all suppressed at this moment and dared not speak anymore. Because they saw a significant killing intent in that woman's eyes. Liu Xijun, my name is Yi, and I was sent by adults to take care of your daily life. The woman who called herself Yi grabbed Liu Xijun's hand and pulled him out of the pile of women, all the way to her car. The girls around were stunned, even hesitant to look at Yi, feeling inferior just standing on the same horizon as her. Get in the car, Yi said coldly. Liu Xijun looked at the person in front of him. She didn't look like Yi Chang at all, she looked younger than Yi Chang, probably only 25 years old. Although it doesn't have the charm of Yi Chang, it looks more exquisite, but that gaze is very similar to Yi Chang's. Master, you guessed right, this is the woman from yesterday. She may become someone else, Liu Xirao reminded. Liu Xijun smiled and got into the car. The red Ferrari drove away quickly. It was a long time before the crowd erupted into shouts of surprise. Oh my goodness! Such a beautiful woman, how could she just take care of Liu Xijun's daily life? No wonder he's not interested in us either. Every woman in the family is so good. Looking. The girls who just fell in love today immediately fell in love again. And those boys stood still for a long time, as if struck by lightning. What exactly is this? The beginning of a cool article. Why do so many girls take the initiative to throw themselves in arms, and there are such wealthy and beautiful women driving Ferraris to pick them up? Liu Xijun looked at Yi driving and couldn't help but mutter to himself, what a strange woman she is. What do you think about us being alone and not showing our true faces? Lord Sarang asked me to stay with you from now on. Yi glanced at Liu Xijun beside her and said calmly. Oh, okay. After just 2 sentences, there's nothing to say. But Yi seems very anxious. She always wants to find something to say while driving. Liu Xijun just waited for her to ask and then replied. It seemed that he was not talkative. Where is your home? Take a route, Yi suddenly said, with a hint of inexplicable shame on her face. You've been driving for so long, so you don't even know where I live. Liu Xijun was dumbfounded, his face still cold just now. What's wrong with his face now? Hurry up, lead the way, Yi hummed. Only she herself knows that if she doesn't give you something to do, you're not prepared to talk to me at all. Okay. With Liu Xijun's guidance, the car is finally not so deserted. Yi finally found words to say. Where do we eat for dinner? At home. Are you cooking by yourself? Yes. I can also cook, and I can cook for you later. Okay, thank you. But sometimes I go on business trips, so don't bring anyone else into the house. No, I usually don't have friends. If you want to fall in love at school, let me know and I'll go check it out, but Lord Sarang still hopes that you focus on cultivation and learning at school. Upon hearing this, Liu Xijun's scalp tingled. Check it out, Sarang helped me check on my girlfriend, so maybe if I keep it, I'll be gone, right? By the way, you can take this thing and use it. Yi took out a blue stone from her pocket and threw it directly to Liu Xijun. You can barely use the spiritual level Stardust magic weapon now. If you perform well in the future, you can upgrade it. Liu Xijun reached out to catch the stone, and as soon as he picked it up, he felt a warm sensation all over his body. At this moment, Liu Xirao spoke again. Master, can you give me this thing? I feel like I should be able to eat it. After eating it, I'm likely to immediately produce a lock crystal. This is a spiritual level Stardust magic weapon, which can nourish Stardust even when not practicing in the dark. Use it as food for the little demon. But what if Meimo and Meimo Fan's little loach pendant are similar? Liu Xijun asked, I can eat it for you, but besides producing emotional crystals, what's the use for you? I can help my master cultivate. I am a succubus, and you also have a succubus physique. We can have fun together, you understand. Liu Xirao's words were extremely captivating, especially his voice still appearing in Liu Xijun's mind, making him hear them all tingling. Master, I really want to hug you now. Liu Xirao, who had only been quiet for a while, is running a fever again. Liu Xijun ignored her, but now she is eating Yi Chang's soft rice, letting her know that her summoning beast is a seductive demon and dare not think about the consequences. Liu Xirao snorted and said, why don't I make that woman dizzy? Then we can get along alone. Liu Xijun did not respond, but suddenly said to Yi. Stop the car, I'll go take a look below. With a beautiful glance, Yi parked her car on the roadside. This is Mingwen Middle School, a women's college. Liu Xijun looked at a girl sitting in a wheelchair not far away, feeling lonely and surrounded by a few thugs talking to her. She is naturally Yi Xinxia. Due to Liu Xijun's car passing by Mingwen Middle School, he arrived here one step ahead of Mo Fan. Having some connection with her, Yi Chang would never go and check her. Now that the Stardust magic tool can provide you with food, can it immediately produce a love lock crystal? The little demon immediately said, sure, Sister Xinxia, please promise me to your brother. Su Bing pleaded with a look on his face. This was the 10th time he had confessed to Xinxia. Su Ji's BMW is parked over there. If you agree, Su Gu will immediately carry you onto the car and take you home, Su Bing's dog legs immediately responded. Xinxia remained silent, just silently watching them. There are many people passing by, but they dare not meddle in the affairs here. I can only let this disabled little girl be bullied by them. Hello, brother Su, there's a guy on the right who's coming towards us, lying down. That guy is so handsome. Su Bing looked to the right, and when he saw Liu Xijun, the flower in his hand fell off without holding it firmly. Xinxia didn't originally look, but when she heard these shameless boys exclaiming handsome, she looked at them with some curiosity and silently sighed, sure enough. Chapter 6. Saving Heart Summer, Attempting to Lock Love Heart Summer. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Sleeping in the Trough. Brother you, Su Bing looked at Liu Xijun walking towards this side with a shocked expression on his face. How could you be so handsome? His henchmen are also bowing their heads and lying down at this moment. Compared to him, what kind of bulk cargo am I? Hello everyone, Liu Xijun stood in front of several people, with his hands in his pockets and a calm expression. Hello, you. Su Bing quickly looked at Liu Xijun's whole body and found that he was not wearing any expensive clothing, and even did not have the arrogance of a magician. But even so, he still had some fear. Does this person have any incredible background? Liu Xijun looked at him and said, this girl is my cousin. Ah. Su Bing looked suspicious and thought to himself, this guy is here to snatch women from me. Standing in front of him, even if you know he's here to snatch women, for some reason, you always feel inferior to him. What am I competing with him for? Su Bing surprisingly felt inferior. Alright, that's it. Liu Xijun finished speaking and walked over to push Xinxia before leaving. Leave Su Bing and his group stunned. Master. Yi is watching us, I'm sure she will see me when I come out now, Liu Xirao suddenly said. It's okay, wait and see. Su Bing shouldn't give up easily. Liu Xijun just finished replying to Liu Xirao, and Su Bing really started moving. Hey, brother, although you say she's your cousin, I also have the right to pursue her, right? Su Bing and a few people immediately chased after her. At this moment, Liu Xijun didn't care about them at all, but instead led Xinxia straight into the alley. Where are you taking me? Xinxia turned to look at Liu Xijun and said calmly. Anyway, it's not harming you. Liu Xijun also imitated her tone of voice to reply to her. Hey! Stop! Su Bing and his group chased quickly. Quickly chased the two to a dead end. Yi can't see this position either. As long as she doesn't come specifically, it's okay. Su Bing and his companions looked at Liu Xijun panting heavily. Su Bing gasped and said, although you are indeed handsome, this woman belongs to me. Xinxia frowned slightly. At this moment, she didn't know who the handsome guy who pushed her far away was, nor did she know what he really wanted to do. But compared to others, she has a stronger aversion towards Su Bing. I said, this is my cousin. Liu Xijun's tone was firm and could not retreat. Mad up. Smash his silly face. I see how long he can be handsome. I'm so handsome that I'm so jealous. Ah. Go ahead. After hearing this, a few people decided to start early. Xinxia looked at the group of thugs running towards her with a calm expression. And Liu Xijun gave them a gentle smile, thanking the brothers for their assistance. He closed his eyes and the 7 stars in his mind instantly connected into a track. Suddenly, a wolf beast appeared in the sky, much taller than humans. Boom! The wolf beast fell to the ground, raising a cloud of dust. A hint of surprise flashed in Xinxia's eyes. She didn't expect this good-looking boy to be a magician. Not only that, but also a summoning-type magician. Lie down. Su Bing and others immediately break and dare not move forward. And the wolf beast, Liu Xijun, looked back and said, Master. Stardust magic weapon. Liu Xijun threw the newly acquired Stardust magic tool into the sky. Liu Xijun swallowed it in one gulp, grinning at the corner of his mouth, and then suddenly charged towards Su Bing and others. Ah ah ah. Su Bing and others immediately ran away. The wolf beast shakes its tail and collides. But it seems to be crooked. With a loud bang. Breaking down the walls of the alley, the entire dead end is filled with rubble. Flying sand and moving stones. Liu Xijun glanced back and immediately used the skills of the wolf beast. Boom. Su Bing and others were directly thrown out. The already chaotic alleys are now even more chaotic. The visibility is not even half a meter, and there are scattered rocks, no one knows what's going on ahead. Liu Xijun immediately stood in front of Xinxia, blocking these hurtful stones for her. He apologized and said, I'm sorry, my Yulang beast has a bit of a temper. Xinxia felt a sense of relief in her eyes. She could see now that this guy in front of her was probably going to save herself from those thugs. It's okay, thank you, she whispered in response. But she didn't realize that a seductive figure suddenly appeared behind her. Liu Xijun unexpectedly took advantage of the low visibility of the chaos and reverted back to the prototype. At this moment, she was holding up love crystals in one hand, and the other hand was preparing to take the water cup that Xinxia had placed on the side of her backpack. Heart Summer. Xinxia. Suddenly, a shout came from outside the alley. A hint of surprise appeared in Xinxia's eyes, as she knew it was Emo Fan who had come. Master, what should I do? How about I just put it in her mouth? Liu Xijun looked at Liu Xijun, feeling a bit confused. Don't, just throw it into the water bottle. Don't hesitate, throw it quickly. Liu Xijun firmly said, leaving a bad impression on Xinxia now will be difficult to handle in the future. Xinxia is very smart. If she is forcibly locked in love like this, she will definitely think of something in the future. Okay. Liu Xijun cleverly took the water cup and threw a small crystal of love into it. Ding dang, then he gently put it back. It's normal to have a slight bump under the flying sand and rocks, but Xinxia didn't notice anything was wrong. After completing the task, Liu Xijun cast a seductive glance at Liu Xijun and disappeared in an instant. Xinxia seemed to feel something, but when she looked back, she didn't notice anything. Xinxia. Emo Fan rushed in. At this moment, Liu Xijun was pushing Xinxia out. What are you doing here with Xinxia? Emo Fan asked with an alert expression when he saw Liu Xijun. Su Bing, Liu Xijun replied lightly. After speaking, she let go of Xinxia and left on her own, passing by Emo Fan. Emo Fan suddenly understood that it was Su Bing and those bastards who came to harass Xinxia, but this time it was Liu Xijun who rescued her. Emo Fan, brother. Xinxia looked at the person who rushed over and bit her lips, saying, he just pulled me away from the harassment of those few people. Emo Fan looked at Liu Xijun's back, and indeed did not feel any covetous gaze from him before. Silently sighing, this guy is quite strange. By the way, Xinxia, is this all he did? Emo Fan asked Xinxia, looking around at the chaos and feeling somewhat puzzled. Yes, he is. What series? Summoning series. Emo Fan has heard of summoning magic, which is even rarer than his own thunder magic. Extremely powerful magic in the early stages. In a moment of shock, he remembered some things in class today and suddenly had a memory in his mind. No wonder he survived. It turned out he had awakened the summoning system, but he really could hide it. Today, those two people in the class were so provocative that they didn't even release their summoning beasts. Now even I only have 5 stars. He can actually summon it. However, Xinxia, it's better to stay away from him. Mo Fan felt a bit uneasy, although Liu Xijun did help Xinxia. Well, good brother Mo Fan, Xinxia replied to herself. Are you interested in the little girl? Yi snorted coldly as she saw Liu Xijun returning. Liu Xijun ignored her displeasure and got into the car on his own. No, I just don't want to see someone like this being bullied, he said. Okay. Yi glanced at Xinxia, who was pushed out of the alley. I hummed in my heart, I like you. If you like my daughter, it will be very difficult for me to do. Chapter 7. Will Chang take the initiative to conquer himself? You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Liu Xijun led the way back home. Yi's exquisite evening gown looked out of place with this dilapidated rental house. But she didn't say anything, but wandered around Liu Xijun's home. Whether it's the kitchen or bathroom, I have carefully looked through it. Then he sighed and said, you really are a young man who values hygiene. She finally entered Liu Xijun's bedroom, and the bed had already been stacked. Yi walked over and gently stroked the quilt, and suddenly she seemed to smell a strange smell. Liu Xijun, how many people are sleeping in your bedroom? Yi suddenly walked out of the bedroom and asked as she looked at Liu Xijun sitting on the sofa. I'm the only one. Really? Of course, there's also my wolf beast, Liu Xijun added. The wolf beast. Yi guaranteed that this was definitely not the scent of the wolf beast. This is very charming, and hearing it can make people feel dizzy. They can't help but blush and have some strange physiological reactions. How could it possibly come from the wolf beast? No one else has come except me and my wolf beast, Liu Xijun replied honestly. Woo, main lust, he's not a wolf beast, he's your little demon, main lust, Liu Xirao suddenly cried in her mind. Liu Xijun could even imagine the little figure of this guy squatting in the corner, twitching and crying. We can't afford to provoke this woman, be good. Don't sleep with me anymore. We're still eating someone else's soft food now, Liu Xijun comforted. Bad woman. Master, she is a bad woman. She dare not face you with her true face, unlike me. I only feel sorry for her master. When will the master love and cherish her? The little succubus spoke so seductively that she was feverish again. A picture suddenly appeared in Liu Xijun's mind. Little Meimo was wearing white silk, her eyes were almost drawn, and she was still lying on her body, wriggling and pinching. He suddenly felt his mind numb and his lower body agile, and couldn't help but clench his pants. That's strange. Except for you and your wolf beast, without anyone else, the taste would be confusing. Yi thought of this and her mouth curled up, staring straight at him, saying. There's something wrong with your room, I need to check tonight. Chang has become Yi, and it seems that her mentality has become much younger. She is really like a woman in her 20s and 40s now. With a smile and a glance, there is a strong taste of a newly mature little woman. Even Liu Xijun was surprised to see her smile like this. When she was driving, her face was still cold and aloof. Although she tried to talk to me, the expression on her face was not so rich. Cha, what are you looking for? Liu Xijun asked. Of course, it is a possible demon. Yi suddenly became serious at this moment. Lord Sarang called me to take care of your daily life, which is just one of them. Protecting your life's safety is the key. She saw Liu Xijun with a bewildered expression on his face and felt that he was so cute that he should be easy to bully. Then she covered her mouth and smiled, saying, of course, maybe we'll need to sleep in the same bed then. Yi's gaze never left Liu Xijun, her gaze like a wild cat staring at its prey, full of hunting anticipation. Stinky woman. Pretend to be tender. Master, be careful tonight. I feel like she will have ulterior motives towards you. Liu Xirao said indignantly. Liu Xirao, what did you say about the Meimo physique before about cultivation? Master, if you want to call someone Shirao, you can improve your demonic energy through Meimo's physique. Master, you won't think about it. Don't do it, Master's first time was Shirao, don't give it to this bad woman. Liu Shirao burst into tears as she spoke, seeming anxious to death. Okay, I won't let her get it that easily. Liu Xijun comforted the little guy again. I knew my master was the best to me. Liu Shirao finally calmed down. After a brief encounter between the two, Yi went to Liu Xijun's room and took off her evening gown, changing into a dress. Now it looks like a young female college student. How's it going? Yi twirled lightly in front of Liu Xijun, her eyes shining with anticipation as she asked. Is Lord Sarang really asking you to take care of my daily life? Liu Xijun didn't answer, but instead watched as her attitude became younger and she couldn't help but joke. Of course. Yi tugged at her lightly fastened belt and looked at herself in the mirror, her mouth slightly rising. Okay, thank you for your hard work. What's hard work? Yi hummed a song and entered the kitchen, getting busy around her apron. And soon, the phone she had just casually thrown onto Liu Xijun's bed rang. Dingling bell. Upon hearing this, Liu Xijun walked up to help her get her phone. Unexpectedly, at this moment, Yi stepped into the bedroom ahead of her. Its speed is astonishing. She picked up her phone, with a hint of panic on her face that had not completely disappeared. After clicking on the screen a few times, Yi looked apologetically at Liu Xijun and said, "It's Mr. Sarang's phone number." "You go pick it up," Liu Xijun said nonchalantly. "You are really Sarang, and you are still holding Sarang's phone." Okay, Yi walked out with her phone in hand. "I'll go look into the pot." Liu Xijun then entered the kitchen. "Lord Sarang, the potion we developed together before has now become." "Okay, I got it. Contact me on another number in the future. Call this number again and turn you into a black animal demon." Yi responded impatiently. If Liu Xijun had just seen something, it would have caused a lot of trouble. Tang Sarang, one of the cardinals, has now become a female college student and even voluntarily proposed cohabitation. Speak up, thunderstorm a crowd. Yes. Got it. I'm very sorry, Lord Sarang. The black pharmacist was sweating profusely at this moment, and he could hear from this voice that Sarang was young again now. Continue according to the path I provided earlier and strive for early mass production. Yes. Yi took advantage of this time to quickly handle other matters. Back in the house, Yi saw that Liu Xijun had weighed the twice-cooked pork in the pot, stewed the rib soup in one pot, and cooked minced meat and eggplant here. She suddenly felt a heat in her eyes. She thought she just liked Liu Xijun's appearance and wanted to use some tricks to get rid of him, but she saw that he was actually taking on the responsibility for himself, for their shared meal. It seems like everything is natural and no one has to do anything. She always felt that although it was their first time getting along like this, there was always a feeling of being an old husband and wife. Yi stood outside the kitchen door, her mind filled with strange things. And Liu Xijun didn't think so much. He cooks entirely because I'm a few times hungry, and when you finish calling, I'm afraid I'll be half-starved. Also, it is unnecessary to cut the radish into one size, and it is unnecessary to cut the garlic sprouts into the same length when frying twice-cooked pork. No wonder you cook so slowly. Eating, Liu Xijun shouted. It is said that Yi cooks, but in fact, almost all the dishes are made by him personally. Chapter 8. Teasing Yi too much, sexually exciting Yi. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Unexpectedly, you can still cook and cook so delicious. After taking a few bites, Yi's eyes were full of stars. Didn't I mention before that I can cook? Liu Xijun looked at her and was surprised to see how delicious her cooking was. Humph, I didn't expect it. Yi ate the meal, her eyes shining brightly. From time to time, she would look up at Liu Xijun, who was really handsome. Yi couldn't help but laugh at the thought that this man would soon be sharing the same bed with her, as if the food in her bowl was even more delicious. Watching Yi burst into laughter. Liu Xijun raised his eyes. What a strange woman she is. A meal quickly ended, and Yi leaned back on the chair with a satisfied expression on her face. She thought for a moment, it seemed like she hadn't had such a delicious meal in a long time. In fact, ordinary people's little days are also very good. He needs to work harder. Liu Xijun, from now on, you can cook for yourself, Yi said with a beautiful glance and some discussion. Isn't it that Lord Sarang asked you to take care of my daily life? Why should I still cook? Of course Liu Xijun refused. Oh my God, if you don't speak, how can you do it? Since you don't want to face me with your true face, then I will comply with you. I am looking forward to seeing the food that Lord Sarang has cooked for me when I return home from school. You can do it. Yi pursed her lips and suddenly thought of the two cooking in the kitchen, perhaps even more what kitchen battles and windowsill challenges can be unlocked in the future. The more she thought about it, the more exciting it became. Yi was so excited that she clenched her fist. How about the two of us cooking together? Yi blinked her blinking eyes. She had not fully immersed herself in this role before, and always felt ashamed to have an aunt act like this little girl. However, she also thought that now she is not Yi Chang, she is Yi. Yi, who has just graduated and achieved success in her career. Okay. Liu Xijun nodded, it's okay. Upon hearing this, Yi smiled even more and said happily, not bad, there's a reward. Then she touched inside her LV bag, took out a black card, sandwiched it between her index and middle fingers, looked at it with a mysterious smile, and threw it to Liu Xijun. Liu Xijun reached out and took it, taking a look in his hand. I tested that the scene in Xinxia's novel, there are 10 million in this card, and the password is your birthday, actually appeared in his own life. There are 30 million in this card, and the password is my birthday, Yi said with a smile as she leaned back in her chair. This script is not right. Why is Mao your birthday? Liu Xijun was a bit stunned, looking up at her at a loss. Ha. If you want to spend money, you have to know my sister's birthday. Yi looked at Liu Xijun like this, her heart was even more overjoyed, so cute, wanting to surpass. Why isn't it late at night? Do you want to buy a small umbrella? Liu Xijun put the card in his pocket and grinned, forget it. Hey. Aren't you asking? Why do I need to know your birthday? Do I have to prepare a birthday gift for you? Liu Xijun said as he began to collect the dishes. This sentence made Yi's smile stiffen, and she suddenly felt a bit like the legendary licking dog who was completely uninterested in money. It seemed that her previous initiative had disappeared. Seeing Yi's excitement almost extinguished. After Liu Xijun finished collecting the bowl, he added another sentence to prepare the wealthy woman not to be so embarrassed. You're not Lord Sarang, don't take yourself too seriously. This sentence Yi suddenly recalled it, and she became excited again. Does this mean that if it were Lord Sarang, who knew her birthday, he would prepare a gift for her? Does he have a liking for Sarang? I am Yi, and I am also Yi Chang. So he immediately asked again, so, if it's Lord Sarang's birthday, do you want to know? I don't want to. His tone was cold and resolute. Yi suddenly cooled down again. She seemed dissatisfied and asked again. Why? That's Lord Sarang. Because Mr. Sarang is busy with daily tasks and has received valuable gifts, he doesn't care about our little birthday gift. Whether or not he can see her is a question. Liu Xijun began washing dishes, his voice appearing somewhat dull through the kitchen door. The dull voice fell into Yi's ears, making her heart feel pity in melting. Is he feeling lost? Do you think Sarang is not human? I see, I see it seems that I was a bit aloof towards him at the time. Yi thought of this and pondered her tone before asking, so, what if I hand it over to Lord Sarang on your behalf? If I can guarantee that she will accept it without disdain, will you give it? Liu Xijun couldn't help but laugh when he heard her question after question. Yi is really another person. Then give her some sweet treats in disguise. But how can someone like me keep in touch with Lord Sarang without permission? Studying hard now is the top priority for me, so that I can better serve Lord Sarang in the future. I think this is the best reward for Lord Sarang. Upon hearing these words, Yi was so pleased that she clenched her fists and almost cried out. She looked at the window in the distance, trying to suppress the smile on her lips. After a while, she regained her composure, sorted out her emotional tone, and asked. So, what if Lord Sarang still wants your gift, besides academic performance? Then I have to figure out how to get her birthday. Okay. Yi exclaimed excitedly, suddenly realizing that it was strange to see herself in his eyes. She added, what I mean is, what a loyal believer. If Lord Sarang knew you were so kind to her, he would definitely be extremely cruel. Yi blushed and didn't want to buy a small umbrella today. Super hard. I'll give you a hard and super reward. Oh, I see. Liu Xijun nodded in response. Liu Xi whimpered as she flirted with her, I was so jealous and envious. Well behaved, just talking verbally, do you think I will let her succeed easily? Liu Xijun replied with a smile to Xiao Meimo. She's lustful, but I don't think you can run tonight. She's sure she'll eat you tonight. Why, you look at her with that look, it's like she's about to swallow you now. If she really lies in the same bed with you at night, you must be ruined. She's still so powerful, you can't resist. Liu Xijun finished washing the dishes and glanced at Yi, who was still sitting on the chair next to the dining table. Her face was now flushed, and her white and tender little hands were gripping the hem of her dress. As it was a long dress, the hem was pulled down, and her dazzling white long legs were almost all exposed. The act of lifting the skirt is like welcoming someone. Upon realizing that Liu Xijun was looking at her, he immediately released his hand and turned his head to look at him with eager eyes. That smile is like a wolf-like tiger. Liu Xijun, sigh, you've gone too far, I'm sorry. Shirao, what should we do? Chapter 9. Little Demon. Master, you play with her. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Woo, Master Lust, you said you would leave the first time for someone else, but now you're going to be eaten. Liu Shirao cried out. I didn't expect her to burn so much, even more than you. Liu Xijun didn't expect either. Master, they don't burn. Woo, forget it, after all, you didn't mean to. Master, if you're eaten today, remember to meditate and practice while she sits on you, said the little demon. Practice while doing things? Liu Xijun asked in confusion. Yes, this way you can practice quickly. Humph, suck her hard. I'll only release my chi by sucking her dry. Liu Xijun is not familiar with his physical condition. Can he really absorb it? Speaking of which, the little demon burst into tears again. Sleeping slot. Liu Xijun looked at Yi slowly standing up, and there was a dark color on the cushioned chair. Is this soaked? Liu Xijun felt deeply terrifying. 30 is like a wolf, 40 is like a tiger. It's not just bragging. Little one, it's getting late. Let's wash up and go to bed, right? Yi didn't know what had been added to her brain, she was extremely excited, and now her tone of voice was trembling. No, who wants to wash and sleep with you? Liu Xijun was afraid. I have such a charming physique, but I was afraid of you several times. Lord Sarang said, let me take care of your daily life, which naturally includes sleeping. Yi watched as Liu Xijun's Adam's apple moved, her eyes lit up, and then slowly moved down to see his capital. No, this won't work. Your eyes are not right. If you look at me like this again, I'll sue Mr. Sarang. Liu Xijun took a small step back and said in panic. Don't run, Yi also felt that something was wrong with her. She was a bit too proactive, and she had to eat it on the first day too early. She blinked her eyes and pondered, I'm joking. Lord Sarang also wants me to see if you're a frivolous person. This is also one of the ways I test the Black Church. Alright, your assessment passed. Liu Xijun breathed a sigh of relief when he saw Yi, who had finally become much calmer. At night. The bedroom is pitch black, and only a little moonlight can be seen from the window. Liu Xijun took a shower first and lay down on the bed. Just when he was taking a shower, Liu Xirao begged to come out and wash with him. But Liu Xijun refused. Yi has a very sharp nose and is truly a drug dealer. If it makes her smell the scent of a little succubus in the bathroom later, it's hard to explain. Moreover, Liu Xijun can no longer guarantee that Yi, this woman, will engage in the act of peeking at the shower. Her image of aloofness has almost collapsed with Liu Xijun. You have to find a way to get this woman out of here, our good day will come, Liu Xi said with a hint of melancholy. What reason should I find to drive her out? This guy can become anyone and will definitely find a reason to come back. Unless there's something going on in the Black Sea on her own. Liu Xirao stopped talking and was also thinking of a solution. Jia, the old and unusable bedroom door was pushed open, making a sour tooth sound. Liu Xijun glanced up and saw the slender figure. At this moment, he only wrapped himself in a layer of bathrobe and entered the bedroom. Little darling, I've finished washing it. Don't yell, you are only the first day. Liu Xijun could not bear to complain about it. Yi lay down on the bed with one bone, and the towel was thrown at the end of the bed. She suspected to have easily touched Liu Xijun's bed. Don't talk nonsense, this is also part of the assessment, Yi said with her usual expression. Then gradually get closer to Liu Xijun. Hiss, with a soft and smooth touch, Liu Xijun couldn't help but shout out, how can you? Shu assessment. Yi turned her back to him, her mouth wildly rising. She deliberately used her back and PP to stick to him. Even if you can't eat it today, you still need to test the geometry of Liu Xijun's composure. If this doesn't work, he can't hold back and try sticking his chest to his back later. Master. Hold back, master. Woo, she is so despicable. Liu Xirao kept shouting in Liu Xijun's mind. Masturbation, their skin is smoother than hers, and their PP is softer than hers. You can resist their temptation, you can definitely resist this guy's temptation. Come on, masturbation. In Liu Xijun's mind, the voice of this little demon never stopped, and fortunately, he held it back with great determination. Hiss, no, what are you doing? A softer and smoother touch. Don't even think about it, what exactly is this? Liu Xijun turned his head and saw Yi with her eyes closed, as if she were asleep. Okay, you guys, Liu Xijun harshly grabbed it. Ah! Yi immediately opened her eyes and screamed. The reason why she is so bold is because no matter what Liu Xijun does, she always looks uninterested. But she didn't expect that Liu Xijun really got started. Now, instead, she was hesitant. She covered her chest and retreated a distance towards the bedside. Sleep. Liu Xijun snorted, feeling good. Yi stared at his sleeping face in confusion for a moment. I don't know what she was thinking, but instead of a passionate smile, it turned into a gentle one. She posted it again soon after. However, this time she didn't have a fever, but instead hugged him tightly and slept with him while holding her breath. Master, it seems that she doesn't have a fever anymore. Well, that's best. Master, thank you. Liu Xirao sincerely thanked you. Thank you for what, master? Thank you for leaving me the first time. Actually, there is one thing I haven't told you. After the master gives me the first time with 3 stardust, our cultivation will undergo a qualitative change. Liu Xijun was puzzled by the qualitative change. It is the transparent stardust of the summoning series, which can swallow other stardust. At that time, only 1 stardust needs to be cultivated, and the other stardust will also be improved together. Upon hearing this, Liu Xijun suddenly remembered that there seemed to be no news from Xinxia yet. Master. She has a fever again. A burst of exclamation from Liu Xirao made Liu Xijun feel uneasy. He said, how could Yi sleep peacefully? Turns out it's relaxing one's guard. It's just too late. Liu Xijun's lifeline has already been grasped by her. Yi's face turned pink and she laughed wildly. And Liu Xijun was in a dilemma. Feeling the increasingly hot Yi behind him, he was sweating profusely. At this moment, Liu Xirao shouted. Master! Buckle her! What, detain her? Chapter 10. Eating me Kato Eagle Gold Fingers. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Don't move, little darling, I have your handle, Yi Mei said. She was holding it in her hand, her voice trembling, not to mention tightly pressing against Liu Xijun's back. Apply the front chest to the back, but not the outside. What the hell are you doing? Liu Xijun asked in a trembling voice. Good baby, of course I do. I didn't mean that. But that's what I mean. Yi responded with a flushed face. She had already planned to sleep well. Unexpectedly, after holding Liu Xijun for a while, she always smelled the fragrant scent on him, which made her unwilling to wait any longer. In addition, with Liu Xijun's sturdy shoulders pressed against her, she no longer wanted to endure such close proximity. On the first day, it's just the first day, I can't help it. Master. Come on. Transform into a penguin and charge her Q coins. She can't withstand it, shouted the little demon. I'm working hard, Sister Yi, this really doesn't work. I'm a person who guards her husband's way, don't test me anymore, Liu Xijun said as he tried to break free from her control. However, Yi couldn't listen and became even more excited. She let out a soft breath and said, this is a test arranged by the organization for you. You should behave well, little darling, oh my god, let go of me. Don't be lazy, can you remove your mouth words? Yi had already held Liu Xijun down and sat on his lap, looking at him from top to bottom. His eyes were unusually blurred, and he didn't give in much compared to the little demon. Sister Yi, it seems like you wet the bed. Can you wash it? I have a bunch of strange things you brought on my legs. Ah, sister didn't. Yi's eyes became even hotter, anxiously wanting to move on to the next step. Let me go, sister, something's wrong with you today. Liu Xijun gradually realized that Yi's eyes were not right. Meimo, is my physique still peculiar? Masturbation, yes, the scent on you smells so good to me. She can't help but smell too much. Upon hearing the words of Meimo, Liu Xijun was numb, but fortunately, after a struggle just now, he now had plenty of room for his hands to move. Sister Yi, I'm sorry. Liu Xijun seized an opportunity where she was not secure and immediately turned the tables. Ah! Yi screamed and lay down, first surprised, then full of excitement on her face. So, little darling, you like to take the initiative. Tell me earlier. She stared straight at Liu Xijun, her hands hooked around his neck, breathing unevenly, and was about to kiss him. Sister, do you want Cho Q coins? What, is not waiting for her to finish asking. Ah. Ah. Waves of strange cries were heard. I can't sleep in bed anymore, Liu Xijun said after washing his hands and smelling a slightly salty smell. Yi collapsed on the bed, her eyes fixed on the ceiling in confusion, her legs occasionally twitching, looking as if they were broken. Master, you're so amazing. I can't help but want you to help me, exclaimed the little demon excitedly. Liu Xijun's hands were sore as he moved his wrist, half lying on the sofa. Ah. Well. That's probably all. Liu Xirao thought for a moment. My mother seems to have told me these things, but I don't know anything else. Forget it, since charging Q coins can solve the problem, let's temporarily live like this in the future. Good master. When your third galaxy arrives, we'll go and dry it up. Liu Xijun glanced at Yi in the bedroom, thinking that this sleep should have allowed her to sleep until dawn. So I gradually fell asleep too. The sunlight has already shone into the house. Liu Xijun suddenly woke up and took out his phone to take a look. 10.30, sleeping in bed, I'm late. Liu Xijun washed his face casually and rushed towards the school wearing the new school uniform that was issued yesterday. In the bedroom, Yi is no longer there. And the sheets and blankets have already been sun-dried by her. What take care of my daily life, don't you wake me up. Liu Xijun could not help complaining about it. By the time I rushed into school, it was already the 4th class. Sorry for being late, Liu Xijun knocked on the door and entered. Shui Mushing didn't say anything, he nodded and continued talking to the people in the class. Oh, I didn't expect the homeroom teacher to be so biased. This guy is so late and doesn't even say a word, Su Qingning said fiercely when he saw Liu Xijun come in. Yesterday, he and Su Qinglin were called to have a conversation to inquire about Wang Xiong and others being eaten by a giant-eyed rat. The result is that there is no surveillance there, so there is no evidence to prove that they pushed down the king bear. It's just a soft guy who came in with connections. Yesterday, many people saw him being picked up by a beautiful woman driving a Ferrari. No wonder you can just come in as a transfer student. Su Qinglin and some other jealous guys broke their mouths and said. And those girls, at this moment, looked at Liu Xijun with a change in their eyes, only hating themselves for not having so much money. If they had money, wouldn't they be able to, Well, since Liu Xijun is also here, I'll say one more thing. Shui Mushing coughed and hesitated for a while before saying. Starting from today, the teacher in our class who taught the lesson, Types and Habits of Demons has changed. This class should have been her class, but it seems like she has something to attend now and will only come to class later. Let's study on our own first. As soon as he said this, many people in the class began to speculate. The teacher who came here is not a beautiful teacher, is she? Look at the expression on Shui Laogui's face, I guess it's a beautiful teacher. I'm so excited. I'm lying in bed. Beautiful teacher. Some girls lowered their brows, and there was another person vying for Liu Xijun. Love between teachers and students is not allowed in the school. Don't worry, sisters. Liu Xijun, on the other hand, took out the book and it seemed that for him, it would be the same for anyone with a different teacher. Isn't it all teaching? Isn't it all about preaching, imparting knowledge, and resolving doubts? Ka 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 ka. The sound of high heels stepping on the floor was crisp and pleasant, and judging from the size of the sound, it was getting closer and closer. A few active boys in the class propped themselves up and looked outside, while others who couldn't see outside looked anxious and asked if they were coming to our class. Sleeping Trough. Zhang Xiaoho suddenly shouted. What's going on? A group of people asked. Zhang Xiaoho lowered his head and said to Mo Fan, Brother Fan, you are really a beautiful teacher. You are coming to our class wearing black silk. Black silk. This keyword caught the ears of many boys, and they all became excited. As the sound of high heels entered the class. Hiss, a burst of inhaling sound. The whole class quieted down.